tune it in the sun. This is TFM. Get ready to rock. From AM to PM. Come on. Let's talk.
TFM 95.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to the Midday Update. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. National campaign for vaccination begins across governorates in the Sultanate. Shura Council calls for postponement of new water electricity tariffs. Airlines not following COVID-19 measures to face legal action in the country. Oman marks International Day of Persons with Disabilities. India to roll out COVID-19 vaccine in January. Japan suspends entry of non-resident foreigners amid concerns over new strains of virus. U.S. House overrides Trump's veto of defense bill. Chelsea, Leicester draw, Everton, Manchester City postponed due to COVID-19. Ankle injury sidelines Messi against Eibar. Iran among 4 candidates to host AFC Asian Cup 2027. These were the top headlines of the day. Let's see how the weather looks like in the Sultanate in our weather update.
Hi, my name is Maitha El-Shukaili for today's weather update. And right now, I'm at the premises of Oman Data Park at Muscat Knowledge Oasis. Before we move on to weather, here's our fact for the day. Did you know that the average width of a tornado's funnel averages to 100 to 200 yards, and it may be as wide as a mile? Now let's step inside the offices and talk more about weather. According to Oman Meteorology and Civil Aviation Authorities, there will be mainly clear skies over the rest of the Sultanate, and the wind will be northerly to northeasterly, light to moderate and fresh along the coastal areas of the Arabian Sea. With that, let's take a look at how the weather will be like in all the governorates. Muscat will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 16 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny, temperatures between 22 to 15 degrees Celsius. North Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 24 to 14 degrees Celsius. South Al-Batina will be sunny, temperatures between 22 to 14 degrees Celsius. Al-Buraymi will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 15 degrees Celsius. Al-Zahira will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 14 degrees Celsius. Al-Dakhiliya will be sunny, temperatures between 25 to 14 degrees Celsius. North Al-Sharqiya will be sunny, temperatures between 26 to 12 degrees Celsius. South Al-Sharqiya will be sunny, temperatures between 22 to 15 degrees Celsius. Al-Wusta will be partly cloudy, temperatures between 25 to 16 degrees Celsius. And Dhafar will be sunny, temperatures between 23 to 12 degrees Celsius.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now let's go straight to the COVID updates for the day. The Ministry of Health officials in the Sultanate has announced the registration of 2 death cases in the country due to virus today. This has taken the total death cases in the Sultanate to 1,497. The Ministry of Health officials has also extended their deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. In addition to that, the Ministry of Health has also registered 70 new coronavirus cases in Oman today. The total confirmed cases in the country have now touched 128,633, including 121,356 recoveries, as well as 1,497 deaths. According to the officials, in the past 24 hours, 174 recoveries were also reported. The ministry urged everyone to adhere to social distancing instructions issued by the Supreme Committee and the Ministry of Health. Now from a local desk. People in several governorates of the Sultanate of Oman have received the COVID-19 vaccines as part of the country's national campaign of immunization. Doses of the vaccine have been distributed to several parts of Oman, including Al-Buraymi, Al-Dakhiliya, North and South Sharqiya, Al-Wusta, and Dhofar. Vaccines were primarily administered to frontline healthcare workers treating COVID patients, as well as those vulnerable to the coronavirus, including the elderly, those with immune deficiency, and chronic ailments. Several public health centers in these areas have been tasked with vaccinating people in their surrounding areas. 4 centers have been earmarked in Dahira, including Ibri Hospital, Ibri Health Complex, Dhang Health Center, and Yankul Health Center. In the Dhofar, the first vaccine was issued at Sultan Qaboos Hospital under the presence of Dr. Ahmed bin Mohsen Al Ghassani, who is the chairman of Dhofar Municipality, Dr. Khalid bin Muhammad Al Mashiki, Director General of Health Services in Dhofar, and lastly, Dr. Hassan Al Kathiri, Director of Sultan Qaboos Hospital, said a statement from the Ministry of Health. Now, 4 health centers have been identified in Al Wusta as well, namely Haima Hospital, Dukum Hospital, Al Jazir Hospital, and Mahout Health Center. Similarly, in North Shirkia, 7 hospitals, 1 each in Ibra, Sinau, Samad Ashan, Bidia, Wadi Dima, Al Yain, and Wadi Bani Khalid will distribute the COVID-19 vaccine to people. In South Shirkia, those called up for vaccination need to go to hospitals in Sur, Jalan Bani Bu Ali, Jalan Bani Bu Hassan, and Masira. The health center in Kamil, the diabetes clinic in Sur, and the dialysis center in Balan can also be visited for vaccination. Now, vaccines in Al Dakhliya are being distributed from health centers and hospitals in Nizwa, Bahla, Samail, Iski, Adam, Jabal Akhtar, and Al Hamra, while in Buremi, it has been made available in the health centers in Buremi and Mahda. The Shura Council in the Sultanate has called for postponing the application of new tariffs for water and electricity until restructuring the electricity sector 1. On Monday, the Shura Council held a meeting on the implications of lifting subsidies and changing electricity and water tariffs, on which a decision was recently issued. The Council said in its recommendations, the Council calls for postponement of the implementation of the new tariff until the electricity sector is restructured in accordance with the financial framework of the 10th five-year plan with regard to 2021. The Council called on the government to direct support to the final identification cost that goes to the citizens instead of directing it to the operational cost of the sector, and to reduce administrative costs by reviewing the payroll of the employees working in the sector. Reviewing the production and distribution costs of the various electricity companies contracting with the government, in addition to reviewing and evaluating the expenditures of government companies operating in this sector, and reviewing all agreements and terms of the contract that have been concluded within the 10 companies that generate electricity in order to reduce the cost of production, the Council added. Airlines not following the regulations aimed at preventing the spread of COVID-19 in the Sultanate of Oman will face legal action, the country's Civil Aviation Authority, known as CAA, has said recently. The news came as part of the plans drawn up by the body for flights to operate in the country shortly after reopening of Oman's ports of entry was announced. The measures to be followed were sent in a circular to all the airlines. Airlines must take the necessary measures to ensure that the requirements to enter the Sultanate under this circular are implemented. Legal action will be taken against the offending airlines, said the government body. Diplomats returning or arriving to the Sultanate must also now spend 7 days in quarantine before returning to their duties. However, they're exempt from taking PCR tests, registering on the Tarassut Plus app, and wearing the associated tracking bracelet. Due to the ongoing implementation of COVID-19 precautionary measures, and as an exception to the air transport rights between the Sultanate and a number of countries, flights will continue to operate according to bilateral coordination, the authority said. Currently, citizens of the 6 GCC countries, as well as residents with valid permits and passengers with the correct visas can enter the country. All passengers arriving in Oman are required to present a negative COVID-19 PCR test conducted within a 72-hour period prior to the scheduled time of arrival in Oman. The COVID-19 PCR test shall be validated and certified medical test result written in Arabic or English. All passengers arriving to the Sultanate of Oman are required to have international health insurance covering the cost of treatment from COVID-19 for 1 month except for citizens, GCC nationals, and passengers with free treatment cards. The CAA added, before departure to the Sultanate of Oman, passengers must complete pre-registration via www.covid19.emusharraf.om for the PCR test in Oman, pay the 25 Omani Riyals test fees, and download Tarassut Plus app. Airlines must not check in any passenger who has not completed this requirement. All passengers arriving to the Sultanate of Oman continue to be subject to COVID-19 PCR test on arrival, Tarassut Plus bracelet, quarantine for 7 days, and a COVID-19 test on the 8th day. The Sultanate of Oman, represented by the Ministry of Social Development, marked the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, commonly known as IDPD, which falls on December 3rd. Themed Building Back Better toward a disability inclusive, accessible, and sustainable post-COVID-19 world, the ceremony celebrating the IDPD was held under the patronage of Dr. Mahad Saeed Bawan, Minister of Labour at Sheraton Oman Hotel on Monday. Present at the ceremony was attended by Her Excellency Laila Ahmad Al-Najjar, who is the Minister of Social Development in the country. Hamoud Al-Shabibi, who's the Director General of Persons with Disability Affairs, delivered a speech saying the theme of this year's IDPD is held due to the outbreak of COVID-19, which has affected various aspects of people's lives in general and persons with disabilities in particular, as they are more vulnerable to being impacted by the virus due to many social and environmental barriers. They're also vulnerable because of the closure of social and rehabilitative services and the failure to provide them with information in an easy, accessible way, besides the health conditions of severely and multi-disabled people who are also vulnerable to infection with the virus due to their weak immunity and the difficulty facing some of them in terms of applying the necessary physical distancing, he added. He also said that the Sultanate has taken a set of preventive measures at the local level to limit the spread of the virus among persons with disabilities. Such measures included suspending schooling and rehabilitation programs in governmental and private rehabilitation centers and translating awareness programs and the official statement issued in sign language. These were the updates from our local news, but let's stay tuned as we'll be back again a short commercial break but with more updates from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. Now continuing for the stories from our international desk. In what would be termed as a New Year's gift, Adar Poonawalla, who's the Chief Executive Officer at Serum Institute of India on Monday said 40 to 50 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine have already been stockpiled, adding that Covishield rollout is expected in January. We have 40 to 50 million doses of Covishield stockpiled. Once we get regulatory approvals in a few days, it will be down to the government to decide how much they can take and how fast. We will be producing around 300 million doses by July 2021, said Poonawalla while doing a media interaction via video conference. He said that initially, in 1 or 2 months, the offtake will be slow. Once the logistics and everything work out, we can expect the rollout for Covishield in January. Asked whether there is any concern regarding COVID-19 vaccine getting approval, he said regulators are evaluating the data. A lot of people keep raising issues. There are no concerns at all. 92 to 95% vaccine efficiency is there. Emergency use of vaccine may come in the end of December or maybe in January in the UK, and we are hoping the same in India as well. We should wait for some good news. He, however, mentioned that the first 6 months of 2021 will see a shortage of vaccines globally. He said that nobody can help that, but we will see easing off by August to September 2021 as other vaccine manufacturers also being able to supply. Japan on Monday suspended entries of non-resident foreign nationals arriving from the majority of the world in a bid to prevent the spread of the new highly transmissible coronavirus strain. The entry restrictions will last through the end of January, while Japanese citizens and foreign residents entering Japan from regions where the new strain of the virus has been detected will be required to submit a negative virus test prior to and after arrival in Japan. Business people and students from a few countries and regions, including China and South Korea, however, are exempt from the latest restrictions. Japan and South Korea have a special scheme to ease travel restrictions. Japanese Prime Minister Suga told reporters on Monday that his government is responding quickly to deal with the new strains of the virus to protect the people of Japan. Suga said that the new entry restrictions were aimed at protecting our citizens' lives and livelihoods by taking measures in advance to forestall the spread of the new virus strain. First detected in Britain, the new coronavirus variant has since been confirmed in a number of countries. Suga added that the new strains are said to be more infectious, but the basic measures required to prevent infection remain the same. So far in Japan, 8 people have been confirmed to be infected with the variant detected in Britain. The U.S. House on Monday voted to override President Donald Trump's veto of an annual defense bill, which initially passed both the House and the Senate with veto-proof majorities. With a 322 to 87 vote, the House easily passed the threshold of a two-thirds majority to override the president's veto of the $741 billion National Defense Authorization Act, known as NDAA, of fiscal year 2021. The vote marked the first time during Trump's presidency that lawmakers rebuffed the president's veto. Trump on Wednesday followed through on his threat to veto the annual policy legislation. The veto is so rare in history that it hadn't happened to the NDAA for nearly 6 consecutive decades. Ahead of the veto, Representative Mac Thornberry, Republican of Texas, who is also the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, urged his colleagues to vote for the exact same bill and put the best interests of the country first. House Armed Services Committee Chairman Adam Smith, Democrat of Washington State, said, "It is enormously important that we pass this bill." The Senate is scheduled to begin its process of overriding the veto Tuesday. The final override vote in the upper chamber is not expected for days. If the bill cannot be enacted before January 3, 2021, when the new Congress starts, lawmakers will have to start from scratch. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our sports desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Midday Update. And now from a sports desk. Chelsea have won just one game in their last 5 in the Premier League after being held to a 1-1 draw at home to Aston Villa on Monday night. Olivier Giroud put Chelsea ahead with a header from Ben Chilwell's 34th minute cross for his 8th goal in 8 games, but Anwar Al Ghazi's far post volley, which went through Edouard Mendy's legs 5 minutes into the second half, assured each side took a point, although Chelsea complained Jack Grealish had fouled Andreas Christensen in the build-up to the goal. Leicester City drew 1-1 away to Crystal Palace with Harvey Barnes' 83rd minute goal, giving them a point after Wilfried Zaha had put the home side ahead from a 58th minute counter-attack. Leicester has seen Kelechi Iheanacho's first half penalty saved by Guaita, but temporarily move into second place in the table. Finally, Everton's home game against Manchester City was cancelled after an outbreak of COVID-19 in the City squad. Pep's side had previously confirmed positive tests for Gabriel Jesus and Kyle Walker and 2 staff members on Christmas Day, and a statement released by the club on Monday explained the club had returned a number of positive cases in addition to the 4 already reported. Now, FC Barcelona coach Ronald Koeman said on Monday that his side will be without Lionel Messi for Tuesday's La Liga game at home to Eibar. Messi has delayed his return to Barcelona from Argentina, and speaking to the press ahead of the game, Koeman said the striker was with problems in his ankle, and due to that he hasn't been able to train and he isn't in shape for tomorrow's game, so we decided to give him longer holidays. In theory, he will be back after the Eibar game, and our doctors say that a week without training should be enough, added the coach. Barca go into the game a week after Messi inspired them to a 3-0 win over Real, and there is no doubt he'll be missed, although Koeman confirmed that winger Usman was working with the rest of the squad again for his muscle injury, while he also asked for more goals from Griezmann and Philippe. Now, Iran, India and Qatar, as well as Saudi Arabia, have been shortlisted to host the AFC Asian Cup 2027, the AFC website reported lately. All 4 AFC member associations had submitted their bids for the tournament within the stipulated deadline, with Uzbekistan being excluded from the bidding process after submitting its intention to withdraw. China will host the AFC Asian Cup 2023. The tournament will take place that summer across the cities of Beijing, Shanghai, Suzhou, and many more. With this news, we have come to the end of the episode for today, but stay tuned as we'll be back again tomorrow at 2 p.m. with more news and latest updates your way. Keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4. Let's talk.